Welcome to this tutorial for Premiere Pro beginners, and I'm going to start with the basics. Once you've installed, loaded and booted up the program, this is what you will receive. This welcome whatever. So right here, the name, this is where you're going to specify the name of your project. So for the purposes of this project, I'm going to call this test, and it's going to be saved at the desktop, but let me just change the destination so that people can understand how to do this. I'm going to choose partition A, select the partition, then I click on OK. At times, if that panel is unresponsive, you just come to file, you click file, then new, you select project, then it will be easier for you to do that. But if you've already had several projects, when you boot up, it will ask you if you want to open existing projects, recent projects, or you want a new project. Now once you are here, this is the thing that I always tell people. The first thing is to create your own sequence. Sorry for that. You create your own sequence, and how do you do that? You come to file, new, then sequence. Why is it important to create a sequence? Because you are going to have total control of how your sequence is and how you want your sequence to be presented. For me personally, I prefer HDV 1080p at 25 frames per second, because in this region the standard is 25. Other regions have a standard of 30. So but since this is the optimal setting for this region, I prefer that one, and I'm going to select to have a sequence name. I'm just going to use the name test as the sequence name, and once that is done, here we go. It's always important to have this at 100%, but just put it fit here. Then always have this, and if your project doesn't have them, just come to this spanner looking thing and select safe margins. Okay, so right here you will have several tabs. If you can't access any of them, you just come to these arrows right here, you click on them, and they'll give you the tabs that you can't see aligned here. So this the project tab, that you're going to get a sequence and every other file that you're going to import to use in your project. Now there are three ways to import. Number one, you can just double click. You just double click, it will take you direct to the import. You can come the long way, file, import, or you can just use the shortcut control I for import, or just drag and drop your file. But I'm going to use this option. I'm going to use this option. I'm going to look at downloads. Yeah, I'm at downloads. Let me just take this clip. It's a friend of mine. Yeah, for heavy clips, you'll always see something here conforming. Once it's done, then the whole clip is available for your use. So what you need to do, just you hold the clip here, you drag it to your sequence, and here it will ask you whether to change the sequence settings, especially if it's the first clip. It will ask you whether you change the sequence settings or you keep existing settings. If I was to click the changing sequence settings option, it will revert all the changes that I made to my sequence initially to the properties of that video. But since I already know what I want, I'm just going to select keep existing changes, and there, this is what the clip looks like. And the options, especially in Premiere Pro CC version, where you import a clip, maybe it comes without sound or without video. How does that happen? You see there are these buttons here. If I click on A1 and I deselect it, this is the audio part, and I drag the same video, it will come without an audio. If I select the A1 and I deselect the V1 and I click the same file again, it will only come the audio without the video. Yeah, so both of them have to be clicked. And if you have had a problem where sometimes you are importing a video and you don't get the whole video, it's only because of that. Oh, sorry, you get the video, not the audio. It's only because of that, so you need to check that. Yeah, so we've covered the import. Now we need to cover the export. Assuming this is what I wanted to do, maybe I've just finished it and I want to export. Now what I advise majorly is you mark in and mark out. If I bring the cursor to the front and I press letter I, I've marked in, and I bring the cursor to the end and press letter O, I've marked out. Then there are two options for exporting. You can use the shortcut Control M or Command M if you're using a Mac computer, or just go to the long way, File, Export, where export, then you select Media. And also see there's a shortcut here, Control M. So if I click on that, give it a minute, that tab appears. Now this is the format that you're going to export in. If you use JPEG format, it's going to export in images. If it's a video, it's going to export in images, 25 images for each and every second. So you can imagine how big it's going to, how many images you're going to have for a 1 minute clip. Yeah, so AVI, this is actually basically uncompressed. PNG is an image, P2 movie, this is a movie, this is a video, QuickTime is also uncompressed. Audio, this it only export the audio, not the picture, but I prefer H.264, which is also a short form for which is a format of MP4 here. Okay, here the preset, you just need to select what you really want. If I was to click on match high bitrate source, it is going just to see the quality of this video is going to be the quality of the output. Actually, the quality of the highest video is going to be the quality of the output, but all these others you just need to select them depending on what you want. Personally, I prefer 1080p or 720p 25 HD, either this one or this one. If you also select that, and here the sequence. Now if I click on sequence in and out, where I've marked in and out, that's the only point it's going to export. But if I was to click the entire sequence, it's going to export the entire sequence, as you can see right here. This is where I've marked out, but this is where the entire sequence ends, which is also the same as the work area. And if I was to click sequence in and out, just where the sequence out and the sequence in, just in between those two sequence points. Then once you're satisfied with everything that you've done, just click on export, and voila, if you master that, then you are ready to start your import and exporting process on Adobe Premiere Pro. Till next time guys, have a good one. Bye.